Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And today I want to talk to you guys about the significant change that is happening, which is centered around the FEDNOW service with CBDCs, universal basic income, all that kind of stuff. We of course are going to be talking about, where Ripple and XRP as a digital currency does lie within this entirely new system that is happening before our eyes. So with that, I do want to talk to you guys about a few changes happening and a few events that are happening around China, and some of these big areas like Qatar that a lot of people don't even realize that are big giants around LNG, which is liquefied natural gas. And we do see here from Gold Telegraph, food for LNG and gold thought, China and Qatar. In December, the Chinese president suggested that Gulf countries should use the Shanghai Petroleum and Natural Gas Exchange for their energy transactions. He also said that these transactions should be made in yuan. Yes, China has been aggressively securing long-term LNG deals. Most notably, they signed two major LNG supply deals with Qatar last year. Qatar signed a 27-year gas supply deal with China National Petroleum Corporation 2 weeks ago. Qatar Energy signed a 27-year supply agreement with China's Sinopec in November. Who is the world's top LNG exporter? Qatar. Who is the world's top LNG importer? China. These are massive deals. The deal in November was one of the biggest LNG deals in history. We are witnessing a global reshuffling in which the system is bifurcating, leading to significant changes in international trade. China is prioritizing not only its energy security, but also its currency's internationalization, which everyone sees in real time. Another interesting fact about Qatar, in July last year, they conducted their largest gold purchase ever recorded, acquiring 14.8 tons of gold. This purchase elevated their gold reserves to a record level. Since then, their acquisitions have continued to increase, and today the nation's gold holdings stand at 91.8 tons. Who is the biggest producer of gold in the world? China. China has expanded its gold reserves for 7 consecutive months, leading to widespread speculation about the true extent of its gold holdings. Change is certainly in the air. And, one thing that I do want you all to understand that, this big change that's happening around payments and this new financial system, it is going to wipe out a lot of people that do not hold assets. And when I say assets, no, I don't mean the new car that, Johnny and his wife bought down the street, or the $300,000 house that, your neighbors own. No, these are not assets that are going to create long-term economic value for you. Unless you are investing in real estate, then guess what? The house that you are in, that you're still paying your mortgage on, it is an asset, but it's not making you any money. And cars, we already know, depreciating assets. As we look at assets today, you can look at gold and silver. I personally love silver more than gold. You guys already know me. I think that silver is going to significantly outperform gold in the coming years. In terms of other assets, like I said, real estate is a great thing to do, but the problem is the market right now. It's kind of heated up. I would wait for it to cool off. Of course, that's my opinion. But as we do look at assets, I think that, crypto is also another one. I think that crypto could very well be a significant asset class in the future. And I think that right now it is not too bad of an idea to be loading up on utility gems. I've talked about it. Those that do not hold assets will be wiped out within this new system, because guess what? We are seeing an entirely new restructuring of our fiat currencies. And as we do look at a few things happening around the banking sector, we did see over here, these incredible headlines don't get enough attention. The central bank of the 4th largest economy in the world may need a bailout because it bought bonds. This isn't a tech crisis or even a banking crisis. It's a bond crisis, a central bank crisis, a fiat crisis. We do see Bunds Bank may need recapitalization to cover bond buying losses. We do see down here, Bank of America alone has $100 billion in unrealized losses. Yet what you hear is no big deal. After all, we knew about this months ago. And in any case, Bank of America is too big to fail. Worst case, another Credit Suisse. And we all know the money printer is infinite. Bank of America nurses $100 billion paper loss after big bet in bond market. What do you see down here? Fed says doomsday scenario is only $551 billion. Leave aside Stanford estimate of $2.2 trillion and that the Fed also assured everyone that bank runs wouldn't happen on the day 3, this day they began. As we do really kind of look at what's happening here, right? We see the calming before the storm. A lot of people think that these big banks now are fine and that the banking sector is fine. I've said it many times in the past, right? Banks are going to continue to fall. Why? Because it's already programmed in. It's by plan. They want the traditional system to completely erode so that the new one can rise from its ashes. This is all by plan. It's all designed. And we do see here, translation, Germany's central bank may be practically insolvent, owing more in liabilities than it has in assets. So it needs a bailout, sorry. This bailout would likely come from the central bank itself via money printing, so it'd be really a self-bailout. And the scale of that self-bailout is so large that it could imperil the budget for the entire country of Germany. And they even do mention that down here. As we really kind of look at what's happening, listen. The global fractional reserve banking system that we all know is a big, massive scam, the days of it are numbered. But now we have to wait for it to actually crash and burn. This is not going to happen overnight, the same way that the US dollar is not going to lose its reserve currency status overnight. But the US dollar is weakening, the US economy is weakening, and it could only lead to the next major step, which is a big crash. But how long do we have before that happens? Well, that's the big question. And I've talked about it, right? I've said like 2024 is going to be a rough year. It really is. A lot of people are betting big on Bitcoin halving and things like that. I think that a lot of them are not aware of what's happening around the financial system right now. Also, universal basic income. Very interesting. So UBI is now being tested within England. So this is nearly $2,000 a month to be trialed in England for the first time. Now we do see it should be noted that this trial is being conducted by an independent think tank organization, and 30 people will participate over a 2-year period. Although, yeah, it's only 30 people in a 2-year period, and it's still a think tank, organization. I want you guys to realize that this is how it starts. They run trials, and then from the trial, well, they rolled the full system out. CBDCs could very well be the beginning of a UBI. CBDCs are not going to be for everyone, in my opinion. There's going to be the new 1% that rise. The new 1% will not be utilizing CBDCs. They just won't. I also don't think that retail, for the most part, is designed around CBDCs. I think that with CBDCs themselves, they all have their specific use cases, but I think that stablecoins are more so on par with what the retail sector will have, which I've talked about in the past. But again, this plays right directly into that CBDC system, where they're going to start running these trials around even the CBDC, all kind of centered on the UBI, Universal Basic Income, which is all a part of, well, it's all a part of the Great Reset. You will own nothing and be happy, and it's right on par with that. Now, of course, with this idea, what are we looking at? Where does Ripple stand in this? Where does XRP as a digital currency stand in all of this? Now, I know that you guys are not going to like this, but, well, Ripple is right on par with this idea of CBDCs. Now, you can look at CBDCs all you want in a negative way. You could also look at them in a positive way. There's a lot of pros and cons here. Do the cons outweigh the pros? Most likely, right? Especially if central bankers are in control. But if private entities like Ripple are also a part of this goal, then I do think that that is very beneficial, as they could possibly protect the rights of individuals that are tied to CBDCs or even stablecoins and things like that. But as we do look at the IMF going all the way back to 2022, we do see sending money abroad or receiving it will be easier in the future. New tokens and platforms may transform cross-border payments. Right, the IMF's Tobias Adrian, which if you guys know Tobias, then you know the connections from him to Ripple. There's of course another individual tied to this, but this is the Bullet Train. This got posted back in September of 2022. New tokens and platforms may transform cross-border payments and potentially much more. Yeah, the entire system as we know it is being disrupted. And it's all by digital currencies, CBDC, stablecoins. We even do see down here a radical transformation. Things could change as money becomes tokenized, that is, accessible to anyone with the right private key and transferable to anyone with access to the same network. Examples of tokenized money include so-called stablecoins, such as USD Coin, and central bank digital currencies, which some countries such as the Bahamas and Nigeria have already launched, and an increasing number are actively evaluating, 90%. Tokenized money introduces a radical transformation that breaks down the need for two-way trusted relationships. Anyone can hold a token even without having a direct relationship with the issuer. Joe can send Sally tokens he holds in his wallet as long as Sally's wallet is compatible. The issuer of Joe's tokens may not know anything about Sally, though her wallet will. And of course, they do talk about the transformation, how it greatly enhances the efficiency of correspondent banking. Again, this new system is definitely going to be pretty interesting to see. I do think that, again, there's a lot of concern around it, and I think that it's warranted. I think that we need to be concerned, and I think that's healthy to be concerned. I've always said this in the past. But as we do look at this, this is happening. It's inevitable, in my opinion. So we need to make sure that we are getting wealthy off the back-end technology stack. That way, that when we do get wealthy, we can help make the world a better place at least, or try to. But also, we can invest in technology that is helping the privacy be retained and the control around these central bankers diminish. But we do see a key question is which assets will be traded on the platform. Tokenized bank deposits, as in the previous example, are one option. Another is CBDC. In that case, Sally's bank would first exchange its reserves for CBDC, then transfer it to a willing correspondent through the platform. The advantage is more correspondents may be willing to engage because holding CBDC is less risky. Now, all of this is centered out on CBDCs, stablecoins, stuff like that. Again, in my opinion, I think that the best case scenario, for the retail sector is CBDCs for wholesale, stablecoins for the retail sector. Now, the reason why I bring this article back up from September of 2022 is the idea of this bullet train, this train image in the background. I know it's just a train image, right? It doesn't matter. But is that just the case? When we go back to FEDNOW, which we know is launching in late July. In fact, we already know the date, July 20th. FEDNOW system is also right on par with the bullet train, talking about pioneers of now, growing anticipation for instant payments. Again, some pretty large names out there from some big banks, talking about the service and how transformative it is in terms of real-time payments. And then, of course, from the Federal Reserve website, going back to June 15th, 2022, here you guys have that train image. And then, of course, just recently, shout out to Matthew Lynn Y, we do see the train is leaving the station. Here you guys have, launching late July, FedNow instant payments. And, what is that? The bullet train. And, of course, it's kind of right on par with Ripple, which I'll talk to you guys about here in a second. And here you guys have Rosie Rios talking about, what do you think about cryptocurrency as a form of currency? The train has already left the station from Rosie Rios. Again, board of directors at Ripple, the former treasurer of the United States. Impactful words. When we go over here to CBDCs and stablecoins on Ripple's website, accelerate payments and reduce cost. If you look into the video, I've showed this video many times. I'm going to play this video. It's about 5 minutes long. I know it's a long video. Pay attention though.
Today's global financial system is more
Also, I do apologize if they do mute this video. They've been muting a lot of videos, including my HBAR video. They've muted some sections. I do apologize if they do mute it.
Complex than ever before. Yet as the world's economies grow, the infrastructure they rely on needs to evolve. Every nation has its own independent monetary policy and regulatory standards. But with varying system access and legacy technology, the world's financial infrastructure can seem overwhelming. At Ripple, we enable governments and central banks around the world to create new, high-performance financial infrastructures built on blockchain technology. More specifically, we help governments build and launch central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. They are national currencies powered by modern technology that is secure, centralized, and scalable. And these CBDCs will enable central banks to implement their monetary policies in more efficient and effective ways. The Ripple team brings a wealth of expertise to every new CBDC solution, working with hundreds of financial institutions, policymakers and regulators. Our solutions facilitate billions of dollars in cross-border payments around the globe. Ripple's CBDC solution is based upon one of the most reliable, sustainable, and open-source blockchain protocols, the XRP Ledger, XRPL. The XRP Ledger technology is perfect for CBDC blockchain applications. It's fast with transactions complete in 2 to 3 seconds. It's easily customizable and programmable. It's reliable, having closed over 72 million ledgers since 2012. The ledger's native functionality for issuing digital currencies also reduces the need for bespoke programming and reduces risk. Finally, the technology is sustainable as one of the first carbon-neutral blockchains. Each pilot is completely customizable and shaped to the needs of the central bank by an expert team. Here's how it works. Each nation's CBDC is hosted on a private version of the XRP ledger. Access by participants is granted by the administrator and fully secure. Using Ripple's CBDC solution, the central bank has full control over supply, allowing them to increase supply or redeem it. And through a standard API and multiple SDKs, integration into existing systems is simplified and suitable for traditional and non-traditional participants. Additionally, the central bank can issue other assets and allow participants like commercial banks to do so. The central bank can also authorize who holds the currency on the ledger, whether that's held directly by consumers or through commercial banks. Transactions typically settle in seconds compared to days, making CBDCs suitable for use cases like retail point of sale. This can open the door for real-time salary payments and collection of tax at point of sale, which gets funds to an institution or a consumer faster while eliminating debt risks. CBDC data is fully controlled and auditable by a central bank, allowing for its analysis in support of monetary policy. And the data maintains transaction privacy while still allowing for regulators to monitor for criminal activities. Finally, a Ripple-designed CBDC can provide a means to bridge disparate currencies through XRP. Its inherent interoperability can allow for connection with other central bank ledgers for efficient cross-asset and cross-border transactions. This can be done with cross-issuance, using XRP as a bridge currency or via cross-ledger communication protocols. This reduces the risk that institutions are forced to accept when transacting across multiple networks or currencies in the current system. The creation of a CBDC provides powerful benefits for the economy and people of an adopting central bank. It's technology that places trust in digital money in the hands of a central bank that can guarantee accessibility to funds and the resulting services, as is the case with cash today. The result? An improved foundation for global financial development where businesses, commercial banks, and ultimately people can unlock new economic potential. Work with Ripple to build a custom pilot designed for your country or institution today.
And of course, when we look into this video, most of it and almost all of it is still centered around XRP, the XRP ledger, even the private ledger basis, right, is still based upon the XRP ledger, and XRP will be involved. It doesn't matter if it's private or public, XRP is still a crucial piece of the puzzle. And also, again, I don't like to trust these CBDCs at all. You guys know me, I hate CBDCs. But if we are going to see CBDCs, if we are going to see this, digital currency revolution happen, I have to say, I'm happy that there's companies like Ripple behind this, because I do believe that they will try their best to protect our privacy. These are inevitable. Central bankers want these. They will push for these. It is happening. And in my opinion, XRP and XLM are the only the only two currencies on these documents. I've seen Black Swan Capitalist post this video, and I read this same documents. I've only seen XRP and XLM. These are all through the IMF documents, emphasizing the transformative potential of these two around around this new financial system. Now, mind you, like I said, those that are not holding assets, those that do not see this and are preparing accordingly are going to be wiped out, and most likely on the UBI, the Universal Basic Income. Because again, it's happening, it's coming. This is becoming a big deal. It's been happening for at least, I want to say, I mean, it's been a while. Go back 3, 4, 5 years ago, maybe even longer. We've seen documents going all the way back to 2013, 2014. It's been happening for a while. It's all by plan. It's all designed. But listen closely.
In March of 2023, there was a report by the IMF titled Trust Bridges and Money Flows, a digital marketplace to improve cross-border payments. And interestingly, on page 23, they mention 2 digital assets, and that's XRP and XLM.
The Bank for International Settlements publishes their money flower, and there is a small space in that money flower for those private cryptocurrencies. So I agree with you that the winners of this have already been chosen.
I believe so.
Right? And I think that you just named the 2 that are most likely that. And I think also Wall Street's totally adopted Bitcoin.
In March of 2023.
Now, of course, in my opinion, it's not Bitcoin. It's not Ethereum. We already know, right? I think a lot of people are getting distracted by this. In my opinion, yes, XRP, XLM, XDC, some of the big guys, that these are going to be the key players, even QNT. I've talked about it many times. This is happening. The new system is here, and there are so many connections. Even in this video, the first couple seconds, they have the bullet train. They have the bullet train in this video. And I know, right? It's me, like this is me talking about connections to just a bullet train. But if you go back to all of these, major announcements around this new system, it is all centered on the bullet train. It can't be a coincidence. It can't be. In my opinion, this is a significant piece of the puzzle to look at, to kind of connect the dots. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just grasping at nothing that's there. But in my opinion, Ripple, XRP, it's tied to this. It's chosen. And although Ripple is not XRP and XLM is not Ripple, or XRP is, not Ripple, they are still 2 crucial pieces of the puzzle. And XLM is also a piece of this puzzle as well. We've talked about this many times. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. As always, hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. That's been Nick. Peace out, guys.